something is happening at Earl of Sandwich in downtown Disney while nothing is happening at the ticket booths. Meanwhile, in the parks, we're on a fast track to something of an historic time at Disneyland with the reopening dates announced for Storybook Land and Casey Jr. It's happening, and we've got all the details on this week's Disneyland construction update. Now, we've been watching the Esplanade for a while now, specifically these two ticket booths, because they've been closed, and we know that they're closed for a while now because they're getting ready to build Porto someday. But recently, these two ticket booths have closed. These are ones to the left of that area as you walk in from downtown Disney. Those two ticket booths have been open forever, and those were the remaining two ticket booths where you could actually buy a ticket. You could just decide to go to Disneyland, walk up to the Esplanade, and say, I would like 2 tickets to Disneyland, please. And that's where you would go, is these two ticket booths. As of at least Sunday, that is no longer the case. Those ticket booths are closed to general guests. Matter of fact, they're closed permanently. The only reason why I caught them open in this footage is because they were open so that they could allow guests to upgrade Magic Keys. On this day, Magic Keys for Inspire Keys were made available again, and guests were wanting to upgrade from older Enchant Keys, or lesser expensive Enchant Keys, or Imagine, of course. The point here, though, is that there are now no longer functioning ticket booths anywhere in the Esplanade. The only remaining ticket booths that still function in any way are the ones that are used for DAS guests over there as you approach from Harbor Boulevard. This is a big deal for me anyway, and we go into further detail on this in a video that we did on our sister channel, Fresh Baked Presents. There's a link in the description for that channel. What this means is that they've had to move the ability to purchase a ticket at the park in the Esplanade over to where presently they have Lost and Found. There's just 3 windows there, and it's causing, or did cause on this day, a huge backup. I was told that wait right there was about 90 minutes to buy a ticket to Disneyland. Now, again, this is something of an, we expected this sort of. We expected, because everything is being shifted digital. People buy their tickets online, or you could buy them on the app, etc., or on the on the website. But there are still a subset of guests who still walk up, and I found this. I was there. I stood there in that Esplanade for an hour, watching guest after guest after guest asking, "Where can I go to buy a ticket? Do I go here?" And they were directed over there, obviously, to the new ticket booths. But it was incredible to me because I didn't realize that this guest was still as prominent as it is. Those guests can now, they're going to have a harder time than they've ever had before to buy a ticket. And it's sort of symbolic for me in terms of the shift away from personalized customer service and more to online, digital, bot activated, or, that kind of thing. Like it's becoming more difficult to talk to a human, basically, when it comes to this process of buying tickets or things of that nature. Again, I don't want to get too far into this. If you want to know more about my thoughts on this, you can watch that video on Fresh Baked Presents. But this is a symbolic end of an era at Disneyland with the closure of these final 2 ticket booths here in the Esplanade. One that I regret. Without putting it too plainly, I regret. Now, I mentioned those 2 ticket booths on the right that we've been watching for a long time in these construction reports. Those 2 ticket booths have been closed for a long time. They're closed so they can make room for Portos, which is going to be taking over Earl of Sandwich over there. We've been waiting for Disney to make some sort of announcement on when Earl of Sandwich will be closing. And we were there on this day, and everything looked to be normal. I walked in, and guests were still buying their sandwiches there. It was open, Earl's was. But when you go to the other side, the tavern side, it's not open. There's still kind of like, it has the aura of being open, but there's no chairs. The tables are just kind of haphazard. And it has a very not open appearance. And we were able to confirm eventually that, yes, the tavern has been closed. Those doors are open, but the bar is closed. The tavern is closed. There's no table service at Earl of Sandwich anymore. There's where they would have had the hostess. And there's where they would have had the menu. The menu is gone. That's actually just a burn-in. There's the there's the host table. So Earl of Sandwich, the tavern side of Earl of Sandwich, is closed, which is obviously a precursor to them closing this entire location completely. Now, it hasn't happened yet, obviously, as we just noticed, that the sandwich side is still open. But this is an obvious clue that they have made some sort of progress with regard to permits, etc., for the new Earl of Sandwich that they're building at the far end of downtown Disney over there by Din Tai Fung. That has been stalled for months and months and months. It looks like we're finally going to get some action. Now, this does not mean, I should point out, that they're ready to build Portos. It only means that they're ready to move in, Earls is, or they're getting closer to ready to move in to the new building. That they have a timeline set, and they're making preparations to do that. They're making preparations to move out of the La Brea location and move into the new location. But that does not mean that Portos is around the corner. Guess I missed the Earl of Sandwich meeting for closing the tavern, etc. back there. I thought I was listening, but maybe did I miss something? Did anybody say anything on social? Because I've heard dates in the past. I heard, hey, they're going to get ready to close, and then they put it off, and it didn't happen. They delayed it, but now, it's on. It's on. We'll go to downtown Disney. We'll go check in on that Earl of Sandwich in just a minute. But we'll start here at ESPN Zone, where they're building, the new retail places here for Lululemon at first, and then I guess 2 remaining retail locations to be announced later. Not a lot of progress to be discussed here or seen here. It looks about the same as we left it. They've installed some new, I don't know what that is, like a exterior. I don't know what to call that. But on the exterior, that's new. That wasn't there last week. And then here's Earl of Sandwich. And even though it does look like there's progress happening, there is still nothing happening. Nothing has happened here for about, going on 3 months now, at least, maybe 4, maybe 3 months. So we're still waiting for that. Meanwhile, not looking great, I guess, for the Parkside Market Cafe. They took over for Sip and Saunter. Just stop. I wanted to see what the crowd looks like. There's nothing happening there. Nobody. Naples, the Scrim Scaffold is down. They finally finished this little refurb out here at Naples, and I want to say it looks great, but to be perfectly honest, I have no idea. I can't recall what it looked like before, so I have no idea if this is much of an upgrade. But let's just go ahead and say, yeah, it looks great. I like the green. It's a nice color. Meanwhile, Sunglass Hut, I'm probably going to make the same comment about Sunglass Hut when that reopens, although I have never been inside of that building, so I have no idea if it's going to be any kind of upgrade. But there's still whooping and hollering going on back there. So that's downtown Disney. Things are going to be changing there in the very near future. Let's go to Disneyland, where look at this. Awesome. They hustled Halloween out of the park and hustled in the Christmas decorations. That's the Disneyland Railroad. There's still no tree. They've started they're not done. So far, all we've got is just the poinsettias. The tree is not here yet. It's still just that grassy thing, but that's great. I'm fine with that. They're moving things in. They're maybe, I would say, probably 75, 80% of the way, maybe 85. By the time you see this, probably the tree will be up. By the time this is published on Monday, that tree might be there. But we've got Christmas decorations up there on Main Street Emporium. And then at Disneyland, or at Sleeping Beauty Castle, they still have the 70th stuff up, where they're going to leave that up, it would seem, except for the 70th emblem that was there on the actual castle. They're going to be putting a wreath there. But the castle is pretty much done, short of that wreath. You've got all the icicles, all the lights. They've added garland recently with the Christmas ornaments in the garland, so that looks nice. Very excited to see how this looks at night. It's very bright out on this day, so it was hard to catch the colors of the various things that we found out there for Christmas. We'll get to the park, and there's not a lot happening at Disneyland in terms of construction, which we'll get into, but I noticed on the way in, Indiana Jones posted 25 minutes. I got to the back of the queue, and look at this. This is in the middle of the afternoon here, Indiana Jones. Another one, 11:13, Indiana Jones, 25 minutes, 11:13 a.m. on a Friday. Are they still playing the World Series? Right next door, Pirates of the Caribbean. The guests are just this is right in the middle of the day. Guests are just walking on to Pirates. So decorations are up also in New Orleans Square. Those are nice. Bayou Country has its decorations. Again, it's very bright out, so it's hard to see the color. But Bayou Country is there. It's got some of my favorite decorations in the park for the holiday season. Hungry Bear Jamboree, Barbecue Jamboree. That looks great. Always does. There's Winnie the Pooh, the 100 Acre Wood. Looks about as it always does every year. Pooh Corner. I noticed, though, they weren't quite done with this section back here. We're missing some of the decorations, or perhaps they're maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they just went short this year. But there were still some decorations left to go in that back corner where the Pooh meet and greet is. We'll go to Galaxy's Edge next, where I found yet another shocking display of deadness. And I encountered a lot of guests on this day. I talked to a lot of guests, and they all said the same thing. What's going on? 11:32, right? 11:32 on a Friday, and it's a virtual walk-on. They're calling it 45 minutes, but yeah, you can go ahead and forget that. We'll go around the corner to Big Thunder. Yes! Big Thunder opened on Sunday. I hope you guys watched our ride-through footage on Tours Departing Daily. And then we also did on this channel a before and after coverage of everything that we found that they changed, or just differences that we found on the present iteration of Big Thunder. Also dead 15 minutes. Hope you guys check out that video. Those are always fun. I love doing before and after videos. I hope you guys enjoyed. There's Golden Horseshoe. They've got some decorations up. They've got a Christmas tree up on the stage. Still no show, but they do have decorations. So my holdout, my strike against, my protest against the Golden Horseshoe is still in effect. I refuse to eat here until they put a show up on that stage. Back in Frontierland, I found some more Christmas decorations, except these are the ones, this is really driving me nuts, it's the same. Do you guys know which ones I'm talking about? These are all the same, and I'm pretty sure there used to be one there as well. These decorations used to be different and unique. The ones that I remember, there was a mailbag, a bag of gold. You guys remember that one, the bag of gold? There was the boot. There was a boot that was like a stocking, but instead of a stocking, it was a boot. Where are they? They're not here. I mean, everything else is here, but there's no boot, no bag of gold. What happened to the Christmas decorations at Frontierland? That kind of bums me out a little bit, but all the same. The decorations at Frontierland were always one of my favorites, specifically the ones that they'd hang, right here with the land-specific theming. I'm hoping we're too early. It is just the 7th. We had a week to go before the holiday season starts, and they obviously haven't put everything up, as I probably have been saying throughout this. So hopefully I'm just too early for them to maybe add, but why would they? Oh, I don't know, man. That's such a choice. Like, somebody said, no, I don't want the boot anymore. What's up? Gonna try to be patient on that. Meanwhile, we're gonna go to Fantasyland, where we have Casey Jr. still behind Scrim and Scaffold. Still, we can't see anything. We can't see Rapunzel's tower still. That's the bad news. The good news, though, is that we do have a date for both Casey Jr. and Storybook Land. November 14th, the first day of the holiday season. Both of those attractions will be up, which is incredible because that's everything. Here's some cast members doing some boat tests. Boats in the water at Storybook Land. Great sign. That means they're near ready to open. And now, as I record this on Saturday the 8th, you'll be seeing this on Monday the 10th, and we'll be less than a week away from its reopening, and less than a week away from everything being open. Just let that sink in. On November 14th, all things being equal, if we get there on the same pace we're on right now, there will not be a single ride or attraction on the refurb calendar at either park, Disneyland and DC8. Every single ride or attraction will be up. There might be a restaurant closed, I think Napa, obviously, and I don't know, I can't think of anything else, but I don't remember that ever being the case. I mean, I don't admittedly pay as close attention back in the day as I do now, but I can't remember there ever being a case where it was like that, where every single ride was open on the first day of Christmas or the Christmas season. I mean, that's an outstanding job. That's an outstanding job by the Disney company. Quick hop over to Fantasyland Theater. Christmas trees are up there. They're going to decorate this for the holiday season as well. Scrim is still up at the Troubadour. I'm just completely mystified by what they're, well, not what they are doing, but what they're not doing. And that's whatever it is that they're supposed to be doing at the Troubadour. I mean, at the Troubadour. But there we go. They're still waiting, or they're still working on the meet and greet area down here at the Fantasyland Theater. Small World is closed. Obviously, that's going to reopen also on Friday the 14th. Just checking in here to see if there's any more. You know, all the decorations are up. Basically, all the lights are installed. You got the Santa hat there on the facade, on the clock, and they're ready to go. That's just a matter of time. Walking by the Matterhorn on our way out of the Disneyland, and I found yet another empty queue. This is usually full of guests. This queue that we're looking at is usually full of guests.
12 o'clock. No queue out here for the Matterhorn.
And I just want to speak to this once more. And this is, I can't remember. This is historical for me. I mean, like I mentioned before, I didn't pay attention as close to, how full, how operational the park is back in the day as I do now. But at least post-COVID, this never happened. I cannot recall this ever happening post-COVID where every single ride is open. And I just feel like that's an unprecedented thing for Disneyland. I'm so happy. I'm so proud that we've got this park as operational as we have. Now is the time to get your butts to Disneyland. It's not that busy. I realize this is a day when some of the Magic Keys were not, they're blocked out, but still, it's just the crowds are light. Get to Disneyland, you guys. Use GetAwayToday. There's a link in the description. They are our preferred travel partner. They've been taking care of us and taking care of guests for years, and they are awesome at their job, and I would like to encourage you to do that. A support for GetAwayToday is also support for Fresh Baked. We are symbiotic in that way. So if you use the link in the description, that helps both support Fresh Baked and get you a great service, a bunch of really smart, kind, generous family-run business that just wants to help you go to Disneyland. GetAwayToday, link in the description. Hope you guys have a great trip. And with that, we'll take this show out onto Harbor Boulevard to take a look at what's going on with Avengers Infinity Defense, which is, well, a lot. It's considerable, even though we can't really see. I'm not much of a, constructionizer, so I don't know what I'm looking at most of the time. But I did see this guy down there working on some sort of catwalk. Oh, there he is. He's grinding or welding something, one of those two things. But, maybe you guys can help me figure out what he's doing. But that's amazing that we're just watching them build this thing out here in Harbor Boulevard. But that's all we could see on this day. We'll head into the park, into DCA. Guys, we mentioned last week that the booths are coming. And there's the first one we caught on camera. That's Merry Mashups. But didn't there used to be one right there? There should be a booth right here. We're short booths this year. I'm pretty sure we're short at least one booth this year. There's Twist on Traditions. That beef brisket slider is the same. Is a return. I didn't care for that. This year, that's new. The holiday turkey leg. We did a video on this as well on Fresh Baked Presents. We did a complete review of the foodie guide. Check that out on Fresh Baked Presents. Link in the description for that channel. $16.75. Not eligible for Sip and Savor, you guys. So, but that's because of the price. So that means you're getting like a full-size turkey leg. You're not getting a small Sip and Savor sized portion. You're getting a full-size turkey leg there. So that's interesting. There's Brews and Bites with the return of the queso fundido, which is just an absolute delight. I love that. But again, not new. Not a lot of new stuff on the menu this year. Favorite things, that's over there by Golden Zephyr. The braised pork belly adobo, that's not new. That was there before. It was tasty, pretty tasty, a little fatty. Going to try that guava melon lassi probably. And then holiday duets. This is the only one. This is the last booth that I shot on this day is holiday duets. And they're bringing back the savory kugel mac and cheese plus an al pastor mac and cheese this year. That's new. But right here, yeah, back. Where's the booth for Grizzly River Run? That booth is not. There's always a booth here. Now it's just nothing. And I think there's more. There's more. We got to check out Hollywood Backlot, but first we got to get on the Pixar Pal around. And while we notice that Mr. Potato is still not there, we're going to check out Coco first. Keep the camera focused in this direction. And again, this is nothing happening yet. We're still waiting every week. I'm just going to come up here, Disney, and wait for you guys to start doing something back here where you're going to build Coco. Get out of my way, bar. Okay, so there's, it looks exactly like we left it the week before from this perspective. And then I think I'm going to pan right, aren't I? Yeah, there we go. Nothing happening on those trees back there. You can see that service road back there. You can kind of see it right there. That's the service road that we're expecting them to push out into. They're going to take over that service road, or maybe part of it, we think, to help expand that area in the back. And then also nothing happening there with those portables back there. That's that same service road. We'll see. We're going to be keeping an eye on that. Let's get our camera in the direction of Avengers Infinity Defense. Want to check out the ground level first if we can. You can still see some of that white truss system, but what I'm focusing on here is that, remember that structure that we were very curious about on the left, to the left of that tree. Just trying to check in and see if there's any new developments there. I think there's steel connecting those two. Maybe we can't see it here. There's too much glare in the lens. We'll come back and look at that. For now, we'll go and look at the truss system that's been installed. There's a lot of crew up there on the roof of the building behind it. Very exciting time. Very exciting time for watching the progress of this building, seeing how this develops. But again, it's a moving target, so we're going to go to Cozy Cones next while the wheel keeps moving. And it looks like there is a little bit of action down there. It looks like there's a little bit more action on the ground than there was before. We're still at the same level with that vertical rebar and the cinder blocks, but it's difficult to say for sure how far along they've come on that ground level. We'll take a look on the ground in a minute when we get back down there. There's more of that truss system. So they've got more to install. That's on the ground there. That truss system is on the ground, not installed. So they've got more to put up on that. Amazing. They've got more to put up there. But I guess they have to do that first, because then they're going to install the, well, maybe I feel like they shouldn't wait to install the glass part of that until later. But then again, like I said, I don't know anything about construction. But if we go back to the same shot, now cast your focus above the white truss system, and you can see there is some steel connecting that construction on the left side to the construction on the right over those portable buildings, which is fascinating that they're doing this while those buildings are still there. Those buildings have got to go. Okay? Those buildings at some point have got to go, because they're now building a roof structure over that now. It's happening. That is definitely steel that are connecting those. Okay, let's get on the ground over there by Luigi's, where I don't think we've saw anything useful over the wall in this case. That looks just like we left it from all angles, by all appearances. I think we're not going to learn anything there, but I did try again with the phone to see if it could. That gap is still there. They have not fresh baked that gap. What good fortune for us. So I'm going to try to, there we go. I think we got it. Okay. That looks like a layered something. There's a small little wall being built there. This is to the right of the restroom, I think. It's hard to tell. I don't know what I'm talking about. It does look like they're getting ready. That is some rebar. It does look like they're getting ready to pour concrete. That rebar that you're seeing, where all the green and yellow is, that looks like rebar. It looks like that's a place where they're getting ready to pour concrete, but it's difficult to tell.
I mean, it definitely looks like there's something going on now. Like progress is being made. There's actual progress happening there. That's the dirt. We look down. That was more finished, more. It's not paved, but it looks like it's ready maybe to get paved. It's no longer just loose dirt. And I'm going to need somebody to step up and tell me what they see. Otherwise, with all the rebar and stuff sticking out, I'm not sure what stage we're at there. What they're building, it looks like it's tiered a little bit. There's, it's raised in a certain section. And we saw a lot of yellow last week that wasn't there this week. And I'm not sure, usually when I see yellow, I think sheathing. But obviously they wouldn't be putting sheathing in that spot. So if anybody out there can identify that, I would love to see your comments on that.
We'll come around to the Avengers Campus side of things. So that truss system that we're seeing there right in the middle frame is not complete yet. That's not even done. Here comes the Dora Milaje. Every week, it's the same thing. Every week, I shoot this through the Dora Milaje. So that truss system is not complete. Looking to the left, it looks, they have not made much progress visibly on that left side of things where Avengers Infinity Defense will be. There is a mound of dirt, and there's that truss system on the ground, and we can now see that over the wall. And then one last shot looking in the other direction. Not much to see. They're very hazy too, again. And then finally on this occasion, I did take a look back while I was standing over there on the steps to see if I could see anything happening with the restroom spot. All we can see though is that vertical rebar, but it kind of gives us a sense of the scale of what that building's going to look like in relation to the rest of Avengers Campus back there. On our way out, I stopped by Mission Breakout. You guys, this is where my incredulousness began on this day. Actually, I shot this before the stuff we just saw at Disneyland. 15 minutes. Look at that. 15 minutes, you guys. And you know what? Let's go take a look. Let's just walk into the queue, because it's almost too good to believe. This is Mission Breakout, you guys. This is Mission Breakout, where I've seen 45-minute, 60-minute waits at rope drop when the park first opened. Look at that. Empty. Absolutely empty.
at the risk of breaking into a State of DCA report, I was just walking by. You know what I mean? I'm like, hey, what's going on at Mission Breakout? Oh my God. Guys, okay, so it's 10:49. 10:49 in the morning. And there's a huge ass queue here for Lightning Lane, but standby is completely dead. Now, I've noticed that it's quiet this morning. I'm seeing quiet in a lot of different places. Like I was just, shooting the construction there at Avengers Infinite Defense, and every week when I'm here shooting that, the Dora Milaje are out, and I have to sort of compete with that or sit down and just wait for them to finish the show before I can finish getting my B-roll. There was maybe a third as many guests watching that show this morning than there were just last week. And today is November 7th. I mean, we're not in the peak period yet, so fascinating development this morning.
We'll head over to Grizzly Peak. Redwood Creek Challenge is closed. They are still removing the Halloween decor and adding the Christmas decor. There you see some decorations posted up here at Redwood. Oars and pine cones, etc. Delightful. Russian River, they've gotten their decorations up. Our little grizzly bears have got their Christmas sweaters and light necklaces, which are absolutely a favorite of mine every single year. And of course, I found out this guy's a name. Tim Burr is his name. And he's wearing his Christmas sweater. He's ready for the holidays as well. Tim Burr. And our weekly look at the geysers. I cannot stop looking at these. I am so delighted by the geysers at Grizzly Peak or Grizzly River Run. I don't know why I'm compelled to observe these. I'm just a sucker for this. I don't know why. But that rear one is looking good. This guy right here is looking pretty good. Those guests are going to get a break. No, they're not. God, there it is. Surprise. Take that, suckers. But that one on the left is still having a little bit of difficulty reaching its full potential. One more. Go, 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 go. Oh! Oh, it just bubbled over the side there a little bit, didn't it? And there it goes once more. I feel like you get more water if you hit it coming in than you do going out, obviously. So good. We're in good shape there. And then Napa Rose, or Napa Rose, yeah, across the way. They're still working on that. We're still looking at a January reopening for this, but nothing to observe here. I can't tell if they've made any sort of progress. It's too far away, too many trees. But it is still an area in development, and it was gutted per somebody who's seen inside as of maybe even 2 weeks ago. Christmas. Let's talk more about Christmas. We got more of that to see here at Cars Land. The wreaths are up. The tire wreaths, the white walls. Jingle Jangle Jamboree. Well, Jingle Jamboree. They got the decorations. There's Sergeant Surplus at Christmas tree. The orange, I don't know why I love the orange garland. I usually don't like non-traditional stuff, but I do like the orange garland at the Cozy Cones. And there's some more of that garland hanging over Route 66 with the white wall wreath. Delightful. Flo's V8 Cafe. We're going to have full coverage of all this when we arrive on the 14th for Christmas. And then here's a stage set up at Hollywood Backlot. This is most likely for that klezmer band. I forget the name of him. But the klezmer band that plays every year. And but no show set up here. I can't remember if they did one here before or not. But this is definitely not set up for the holidays. This is not anything festival related. And then other thing I noticed, we're talking about the Festival of Holidays food booths. There used to be at least one, maybe two. There used to be one on that side and one on this side as well. There's no festival booths here as well. So are we at, 5 or 6 booths period? We're going to do a video, you guys. We're doing a video. We're going to eat everything at the booths this year. We do it every year for every food festival. But it's going to be such a short show. We're going to have to expand our show out into Paradise Garden Grill or Smoke Jumpers or something. There's so little food compared to previous years being offered for Festival of Holidays. Maybe it's because the locals are going to get blocked out. The pass holders are going to get blocked out for those, 2 weeks when the prime time for festival. Maybe they're not getting enough traffic, so they're just putting up fewer booths. I don't know. It's kind of a shame. That most pass holder type guests are not going to get to enjoy this as much as because the festivals are local focused. The Food and Wine Festival, Festival of Holidays, Lunar New Year, those are local events. Those are not tourist events. Those are local events. but we're not going to get to enjoy those as much as we should this, in the past few years because of the blockouts. I digress. There are a few more decorations out here on Hollywood Boulevard. Santa and the star, etc. It looks pretty meh as usual. And we've got a tree, you guys. Look at that. There, we're going to close with a Christmas tree. We don't have a tree yet at Disneyland, but we do have our tree at DCA on Buena Vista Street. Absolutely delightful. I'm so looking forward to the holiday season. Absolutely ready to cover this. We're gonna be doing our normal, coverage on November 14th. Me and Liz will do a complete tour of all the stuff that's available to you guests on opening day. We're gonna do our eating everything at Festival of Holidays food. We're gonna do that on Sunday though, instead of Saturday. We're doing that on Sunday, so that video will probably be out Monday or maybe Tuesday. And then I'm also going to be doing a challenge this year. It's a precursor to one of the challenges that we're going to do for our, we're doing a challenge, one challenge every month next year. There's a whole calendar available on the Fresh Baked Presents shop and everything, where you can, play along. You can do the challenges yourself or just follow along on how we do them. There's a calendar available for that. But this is a prelude or a preview of that challenge. I'm going to do a speed run. Everything that you can do at Disneyland for the holidays, all the rides, the parade, the shows, the tree lighting ceremony, all that stuff. Stay tuned for that coming up this holiday season. But we're not done yet. The show is not over because I do want to check out the refurb calendar, even though there's probably not going to be much of one. Let's take a look anyway. This is what I'm talking about, you guys. This is what I'm talking about. Listen, this is going to take 5 seconds. Casey Jr., Storybookland, they've been closed. They're going to reopen on November 14th with the beginning of the holiday season. Small World has been closed. That's going to reopen on November 14th. Oh, I almost said it. December 1st through December 3rd. Indiana Jones is going to be closed for 3 whole days. Indiana Jones will be closed for 3 whole days. But on November 14th, everything will be open. And look for a brief closure on Indiana Jones. That's like the outlier to this whole conversation. And then at DCA on November 14th, the only thing that's closed right now is going to be open on November 14th. Also, the Redwood Creek Challenge. There will be everything completely, utterly, and totally wide open on November 14th. It's a Christmas miracle. I can't remember. I have to go look back. Maybe we'll talk about it in our State of Disneyland report. I'm going to have to go and look back and see if that's ever been the case. I'll look at our construction reports from last year and see what the calendar looked like. But I do not remember this ever being the case, ever. At least not in recent memory. I hope you guys enjoyed the show this week. Thank you very much for watching. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. And fresh baked.